Hey guys, and welcome to the Ban Rants channel, your home for NFL predictions, analysis, and of course, your periodic rant. It is week 2 of the postseason, and we are getting ready to look at the divisional round playoff matches and doing predictions for all of the games. Last week, I correctly projected 4 of the 6 teams winning last week. I'm going to try and get all 4 correct this week. But before I do, please keep in mind that all of the following images you're allowed to see coming up are owned by the NFL. I do not own any of them except for this image that you see, the Ban Rants image. If you like what you see, leave a like on the channel, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below to let me know what you want me to rant about next. I plan on talking about some of the head coaching hires that have been happening in the NFL. That's going to be my next one. But with that out of the way, let's continue. Alright, so these are all of the matchups that we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing the Packers hosting the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are one of the teams I did not predict making it. When I look at this match here, very simply, I am looking at who is stronger on both sides of the ball. The Rams have the number 1 defense, and that did help them a lot against Seattle last week. However, as tough as Seattle has been on offense, and they've been decent, the Packers have been playing much better. They are the number 1 seed, have a first-round bye for the second year in a row, and if they win, they will be hosting the NFC Championship game and will be going to the NFC title game back-to-back for the first time in recent memory. Now, could this happen? Probably. Jared Goff is banged up, and that is necessarily a good thing for Green Bay because if you can get pressure, if Jared Goff starts, that is, you want to get pressure to him immediately. However, the Packers are also without David Bakhtiari, and you know that number 1 defensive pass rush is going to go after Aaron Rodgers just as much. Now, I think this is all going to come down to the running game, and I think Aaron Jones is going to test this Rams defense, but don't provoke them because they are still the top-rated defense. It's all going to come down to whether this Rams secondary can stop this Packers offensive wide receivers. If they have an answer for Devontae Adams, if they have an answer for Aaron Rodgers, that's what it's going to come down to. Personally, I don't think they will. I say the Packers will win by, I'm going to say, 10 points or higher. I say it will be anywhere from 10 to 17 points the Packers win by. Now we can move over to the other NFC game, the Buccaneers and the Saints. Now, I know it's not the actual Buccaneers image that they're using now, same thing with the Bills, but as you remember in my last video, I think those look a little bit cooler, and I'm using them for this example here. Now, Tampa Bay, actually I think this is the correct one they're using. I think it's the Bills is the only incorrect one. Tampa Bay, right now going against the Saints, this is the 3rd time this year. Now, the Saints got the brooms out and swept the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The first time these guys played each other, it was in New Orleans in week 1, I believe. No, that wasn't a Sunday night. That was the other one. Now, a lot has happened since then. Tampa Bay's offense has obviously gotten a little bit more acquainted. I did correctly pick them last week to beat the Washingtons, but that, of course, is a lot different than this team. This is a team that Drew Brees has actually played twice. This is a team that Drew Brees has probably forgotten more about than Tom Brady has learned by being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. So, will the Saints pull out the win for the 3rd time? History is actually on their side. The very last time we saw a division opponent win 3 times in a season, it was actually the New Orleans Saints against the Carolina Panthers. They got the brooms out and swept them, and then won in the wild card round, round 3 in New Orleans, the Saints beating the Panthers. So history is on their side. But is Tampa Bay going to just go away? I don't think so. This is arguably one of the toughest games to call on this slate. But right now, I really have a strong feeling that we're going to see a very interesting divisional matchup between these two teams. We know I have a feeling it's going to be in Green Bay. Obviously, if it's not, the winner will host the Rams. But I have a feeling it's going to be in Lambeau. And my pick in Drew Brees' last season is the New Orleans Saints. I do not see them at least not getting an NFC title berth in what could be Drew Brees' swan song season. I think the Saints pull it out. And now we look at the AFC teams. Now, I correctly picked the Ravens last week. They were my pick to win last week against the Titans. They did. This is probably the only wild card team, that I am actually torn on. And what's ironic about this is that all of the teams that you see here, with the exception of the Saints and Bills, were wild card teams that won last week. I actually picked the Ravens and Bills correctly. I also didn't cover it before, but I did pick the Saints over the Bears. Now, the Bills had a lot of trouble stopping the run, which is what the Ravens do arguably better than anyone in the league right now, especially in the postseason out of these 8 teams. And Lamar Jackson finally is finding his groove. Now, this is a bit of a 2018 quarterback reunion between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Do I think that Josh Allen can win? Yes. Do I think that he's going to? No. And here's why I think it. I'm also going to go back and give a score prediction for the Saints and Bucs, but let me finish up my rant here. The Ravens have a top 10 defense, much like Buffalo does. Buffalo's offense is, of course, firing on a much higher capacity than the Ravens are. But the Ravens do things that Buffalo can't do, and vice versa. It's all going to come down to whether this Ravens secondary has an answer for Josh Allen, which I believe they will. The Ravens have safeties that are questionable, but they make plays when they need to. But the Ravens also have arguably one of the best combinations of cornerback out of all 8 of these teams, with a close second being the Buffalo Bills, with Tre'Davious White and Josh Norman. The Ravens have Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, and they also have Jimmy Smith. I believe he'll be healthy this week. So I keep saying the Rams, and I'm looking at the LA logo. The Ravens, and if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, please don't get upset with me. It's not personal, I promise. The Ravens have all of their defensive guys healthy, and Calais Campbell, Derek Wolfe made a huge difference last week in stopping Derrick Henry, and that was the key. If the Ravens can stop Derrick Henry, then you look at any top running back, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, Ronald Jones. They've been able to have answers for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That is how you win this game. And if you can take away the run, you force Josh Allen to have to make more plays. And he can make them, but he's not perfect. Nobody is. Not even Patrick Mahomes. So if you're going to go through, I'm going to say a good 65-70% of the game throwing against a Ravens secondary that will give you a run for your money, eventually you're going to slip up. And that's when the Ravens are most dangerous. These teams play better. Bills at home, Ravens on the road. It's going to be a close game. It will not be a blowout. These two teams did face each other last season in 2019. The Ravens ended up winning. I believe it was a one-possession game. I see a similar feature here. I think that this is going to be a defensive showdown. I really think, as much as I'm very happy with both of these offenses, I can see a defensive showdown coming up. Wink Martindale versus Sean McDermott. And I know that one wildcard team on the road has to win, and my pick is the Baltimore Ravens over the Buffalo Bills. I have the Ravens winning against the Bills. I'm going to say 28-24. It will be close. It's going to be a showdown you don't want to miss. And who would want to miss this? This is the best game of the weekend in terms of just how close it will be. Now, going back to the Saints and Bucs, I think it will be a shootout in the Superdome. It's not going to be a, 2-3 score game. This is going to go on for a while. I think we might even be able to see this game go into overtime, and that's a bold prediction, but out of all these games, this one could go into overtime. I am seeing it as both teams get over 30 points. I am going New Orleans 38, Tampa Bay 35. And it might be a Will Lutz field goal to win it all. And speaking of high-scoring games, we can go on to the Browns and the Chiefs. Now, these are two quarterbacks that a lot of people are, well, obviously Patrick Mahomes, people are enthusiastic about all the time. But people are enthusiastic about the Browns. The Browns was honestly the biggest surprise, beating the Steelers. Like, I could have seen the Rams doing it because the Rams did get a victory against Seattle when it mattered. And yeah, the Browns did beat the Steelers in Week 17, but that was also when their starters were rested for Pittsburgh, a few of them. But the Browns completely changed the game last week, and could they be the new Tennessee Titans? If they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, they probably are at this point. But I do not see that happening. And look, if you're a Browns fan, that's great because this is not your father's, Cleveland Browns. This is a different team. But the Chiefs are just too damn good. I mean, this is an Arrowhead where very seldomly does Patrick Mahomes lose clutch games. He's only lost one game in Kansas City, and that was in overtime. So, looking at this game, I say the Chiefs win it. I'll say 37-24 Kansas City. And as such, it will be Saints at Packers, Ravens at the Chiefs. And I will see you guys next week, and we will analyze what happened.